Have you ever discovered a place so small that you almost overlooked it, only to realize it quietly holds stories powerful enough to shape an entire nation? Most people believe greatness belongs to massive cities filled with towering skyscrapers, endless highways, and millions of people rushing through crowded streets. They assume history is written only in capitals, that innovation only comes from places with limitless resources, and that influence is measured by size alone. But sometimes the greatest stories are hidden in the places few travelers ever stop to truly understand. In the heart of East Java, only about 50 kilometers southwest of Surabaya, lies a city that many people simply drive past without a second thought. At first glance, it seems modest. Its streets are calm, its skyline is low, its footprint on the map is almost unbelievably small. Yet beneath its quiet appearance lives a city that carries the soul of one of the greatest empires Southeast Asia has ever known. A city where the echoes of Majapahit still breathe through its architecture. A city where Indonesia's first president spent some of the most important years of his childhood. A city whose craftsmen create products admired far beyond Indonesia's borders. A city that repeatedly proved innovation has nothing to do with physical size. This is Mojokerto, a city proudly known as the spirit of Majapahit. And once you understand its story, you may never look at small cities the same way again. Located within the Gerbang Kertosusila metropolitan region, alongside Surabaya, Gresik, Bangkalan, Sidoarjo and Lamongan, Mojokerto serves as one of East Java's important supporting cities. While Surabaya often captures international attention as the province's economic powerhouse, Mojokerto quietly complements the region with a character entirely its own. Its strategic location has connected cultures, commerce, and communities for generations. Yet geography alone does not explain why this city matters. Its significance comes from something far deeper. It comes from resilience. It comes from heritage. It comes from people who consistently prove that determination can overcome limitations. Perhaps the most astonishing fact about Mojokerto is something almost impossible to believe. It is one of the smallest cities in all of Indonesia. Its total area measures only about 20.48 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, many cities around the world have individual parks or airport complexes covering similar amounts of land. Mojokerto consists of only 3 districts. You could drive across much of the city in a surprisingly short amount of time. Many visitors assume such a compact city must also have a small population. The reality is exactly the opposite. More than 140,000 people call this city home, making it one of Indonesia's most densely populated urban areas. Every neighborhood reflects the remarkable ability of its residents to maximize limited space while maintaining vibrant communities filled with businesses, schools, markets, and cultural life. Nationally, Mojokerto ranks as Indonesia's 3rd smallest city by land area, behind only Magelang in central Java and Sibolga in North Sumatra. But if you think being small limits its ambitions, Mojokerto is ready to prove you wrong. Because throughout history, the city has consistently demonstrated a lesson that applies far beyond Indonesia. Greatness is never measured by square kilometers. It is measured by vision, it is measured by courage, and most importantly, it is measured by the people who refuse to let their circumstances define their future. That spirit becomes even more remarkable when you look at what Mojokerto has accomplished in recent years. While larger cities often dominate headlines because of their size or economic power, Mojokerto earned national recognition for something far more meaningful: innovation. For 2 consecutive years, the city was named Indonesia's most innovative city through the Innovative Government Award presented by the Ministry of Home Affairs. This was not an honorary title handed out for popularity. It was recognition earned through real achievements, measurable improvements, and creative public policies designed to improve everyday life. The city government developed an extraordinary culture of innovation across multiple sectors. From digital public services and administrative efficiency to community development and urban management, Mojokerto embraced the idea that progress begins with fresh thinking. Instead of accepting limitations, city leaders encouraged solutions. Instead of waiting for change, they created it. As a result, more than 176 government innovations have been introduced, transforming how public services are delivered and strengthening the relationship between local government and its citizens. For a city so small, those numbers tell a remarkable story. They reveal a community that refuses to compete through size alone. Instead, it competes through ideas. And in today's rapidly changing world, ideas are often far more powerful than land, buildings, or population. Mojokerto reminds us that innovation does not belong exclusively to global capitals or billion-dollar technology hubs. Sometimes it begins inside a city where everyone knows each other. Sometimes it grows from local leaders who simply ask one important question: how can we make life better for our people? That question continues to shape Mojokerto today, and it proves that even the smallest cities can inspire an entire nation when they dare to think differently. There is another reason why Mojokerto occupies such an important place in Indonesia's story. Long before he became the man who proclaimed Indonesia's independence, long before millions knew him as President Soekarno, long before his speeches inspired an entire nation to believe in freedom, he was simply a young boy trying to understand the world around him. And for nearly 8 formative years, that world was Mojokerto. According to the celebrated biography Bung Karno, Penyambung Lidah Rakyat Indonesia by Cindy Adams, as well as historical accounts such as Soekarno-Hatta Persamaan dan Perbedaannya by Tamar Jaya, Soekarno lived in Mojokerto from 1908 until 1916, between the ages of 7 and 15. Those are not ordinary years in anyone's life. They are the years when curiosity begins to flourish, when ideas take shape, when values become deeply rooted, when a child slowly becomes the person who will one day influence history. Imagine walking through the same streets where a young Soekarno once played. Imagine hearing the same sounds that filled his mornings. Imagine watching a boy carrying books to school, unaware that one day his voice would unite hundreds of ethnic groups across thousands of islands under a single dream called Indonesia. History rarely announces itself while it is happening. The greatest leaders often begin their journeys in places that seem completely ordinary. Mojokerto became one of those places. Even today, tangible reminders of Sukarno's childhood continue to stand proudly across the city. One of them is the former Onko Loro School, now known as SDN Purwotenga Mojokerto. Another is the former Europasia Lajera School, or ELS, which today serves as SMP Negeri 2 Mojokerto. These buildings are far more than aging classrooms built from brick and stone. They are silent witnesses. They watched a young student learn, question, dream, and grow. Every hallway once echoed with footsteps that would eventually lead to one of the most defining moments in Southeast Asian history. For visitors, standing before these schools is a deeply moving experience. There are no dramatic special effects, no grand monuments dominating the skyline, only quiet buildings carrying extraordinary memories. They remind us that greatness often begins in classrooms rather than palaces, that revolutions begin with education before they begin with speeches, that every child sitting behind a school desk today may carry possibilities the world cannot yet imagine. Perhaps that is one of Mojokerto's greatest gifts. It teaches us that history is not something distant or unreachable. History is built by ordinary people in ordinary places who choose to pursue extraordinary dreams. As you continue exploring the city, another fascinating identity begins to reveal itself. For decades, Mojokerto has earned recognition as one of East Java's most respected centers for footwear production. Locals proudly call it the City of Shoes. Unlike massive industrial complexes dominated by multinational corporations, much of Mojokerto's footwear industry grew from small and medium enterprises, family workshops, and home industries passed down through generations. Inside modest buildings, skilled artisans transform simple pieces of leather, fabric, rubber, and thread into products that compete confidently in both domestic and international markets. Every pair represents countless hours of craftsmanship. Every stitch reflects experience accumulated over decades. Every finished product tells the story of people who continue to believe that quality matters. Today, Mojokerto is home to more than 216 footwear, small and medium industries. Together, they form one of the city's strongest economic foundations. These businesses create employment, preserve traditional craftsmanship, and contribute to Indonesia's growing reputation for manufacturing excellence. To further strengthen the industry, the city established the Shoe Wholesale Center on Jalan Raden Wijaya, providing a dedicated marketplace where buyers can explore a wide variety of locally produced footwear. For visitors, it offers something more meaningful than shopping. It offers the opportunity to support local entrepreneurs whose dedication has allowed Mojokerto's reputation to reach markets far beyond Indonesia's shores. In many ways, the footwear industry reflects the character of the city itself: patient, persistent, hard-working, unpretentious. The people here rarely seek attention. Instead, they allow the quality of their work to speak for itself. That philosophy has helped generations of craftsmen build livelihoods while preserving skills that continue to evolve with changing times. It is another reminder that Mojokerto's greatest strength has never been its size. Its strength has always been its people. People who transform limited resources into remarkable achievements. People who quietly contribute to Indonesia's economy without demanding recognition. People who understand that true excellence is built one careful step at a time. And perhaps that is beautifully symbolic, because just as every great journey begins with a single step, every remarkable city is ultimately shaped by the hands, hearts, and determination of the people who call it home. But to truly understand Mojokerto, you have to look beyond its modern streets and thriving industries. You have to travel back more than 6 centuries to an era when this region stood at the center of one of the greatest civilizations Southeast Asia had ever known. The mighty Majapahit Empire, an empire whose influence stretched across much of the Indonesian archipelago and reached far beyond its shores through trade, diplomacy, culture, and maritime power. For many Indonesians, Majapahit is more than a chapter in a history book. It represents a golden age, a symbol of unity, a reminder that long before the modern Republic of Indonesia existed, there was already a vision of an interconnected archipelago bound together by shared purpose. Although the archaeological heart of the Majapahit kingdom is located in nearby Trowolan, Mojokerto proudly embraces that extraordinary legacy. It is impossible to walk through the city without noticing how deeply Majapahit continues to shape its identity. The influence appears almost everywhere. Public buildings incorporate architectural elements inspired by ancient Majapahit design. Gateways echo the distinctive red brick structures that have become synonymous with the kingdom. Parks, monuments, streets, and government offices all reflect a conscious effort to preserve and celebrate a heritage that remains central to the city's identity. This is not history locked away behind museum glass. It is history woven into everyday life. Children grow up surrounded by reminders of one of Indonesia's greatest civilizations. Residents pass symbols of Majapahit on their daily commute. Visitors encounter a city that refuses to let its past fade into memory. Instead, Mojokerto allows history to breathe. The city's slogan, Spirit of Majapahit, is more than a branding campaign. It is a promise, a declaration that the values associated with the Majapahit civilization continue to inspire the people who live here today. Wisdom, resilience, unity, creativity, pride in cultural identity. These principles are reflected not only in architecture, but also in community events, educational programs, artistic performances, and efforts to preserve local traditions for future generations. Mojokerto understands something many places struggle to achieve. Progress does not require abandoning the past. The strongest future is often built by honoring history while embracing innovation. That balance gives the city a unique atmosphere. Modern cafes stand comfortably alongside historical landmarks. Bustling commercial districts exist only minutes away from places where centuries of history continue to echo. The result is a destination where every street seems to tell two stories at once. One about where Indonesia came from, the other about where it is going. This vision continues to evolve through ambitious tourism development. One of the city's most exciting projects is Taman Bahari Majapahit, a new landmark designed to strengthen Mojokerto's position as a historical and cultural tourism destination. The project is intended to complement the nationally significant tourism area centered around Trowelan, creating a richer experience for travelers eager to explore the legacy of Majapahit. Rather than competing with history, the city seeks to bring history closer to modern audiences, to transform education into experience, to encourage visitors not simply to observe the past, but to feel connected to it. Because when people understand where a nation comes from, they often gain a deeper appreciation for where it is headed. That philosophy extends beyond monuments and historical sites. It shapes the city's cultural identity itself. Festivals celebrate traditional arts. Public spaces reflect historical themes. It completes any journey through Mojokerto. Its food. Because if history tells you where a place came from, its cuisine tells you who its people truly are. Every destination has famous landmarks. Every city has beautiful buildings. But nothing connects you to local life more naturally than sitting down at a table and sharing a meal prepared with recipes that have been passed from one generation to the next. Mojokerto has quietly become one of East Java's most enjoyable culinary destinations. It is a city where food is not reserved for luxury restaurants or exclusive dining experiences. Instead, incredible flavors can be found almost everywhere, along busy roadside stalls where smoky aromas fill the evening air, inside lively traditional markets where family recipes continue to thrive, at modern food courts bustling with young people gathering after work or school, in stylish cafes that blend contemporary creativity with authentic Indonesian flavors, and even through many of Indonesia's well-known restaurant franchises that have chosen Mojokerto as part of their growing network. This remarkable variety means every visitor can discover something that suits their taste. Whether you're looking for comforting local specialities, refreshing drinks after a long day of sightseeing, or modern dining experiences with friends and family, Mojokerto offers an impressive range of choices within a surprisingly compact city. One moment, you might be enjoying a humble meal prepared by a family that has perfected the same recipe for decades. The next, you could be relaxing in a contemporary cafe, surrounded by students, entrepreneurs, and travelers exchanging stories late into the evening. That diversity reflects the city itself, traditional yet forward-looking, proud of its heritage yet open to new ideas, simple in appearance yet rich in character. Food here becomes more than nourishment. It becomes a conversation, a connection between generations, a reminder that culture is not preserved only inside museums or historical monuments. It lives in kitchens. It survives in recipes whispered from parents to children. It flourishes every time local ingredients are transformed into meals that bring families together. And perhaps that is the perfect way to understand Mojokerto, not through statistics alone, not through maps, not even through photographs, but through experiences, through conversations with local people, through the sounds of its neighborhoods, through the stories carried by its historical buildings, through the craftsmanship of its shoemakers, through the classrooms that once shaped a young Soekarno, through the enduring spirit of Majapahit that still inspires the city today, and finally, through the unforgettable flavors served with genuine East Javanese hospitality. Mojokerto may never be Indonesia's largest city. It may never have the tallest skyline or the busiest international airport. It does not compete for attention through sheer size. It does not rely on spectacle. Instead, it quietly earns admiration through substance. It proves that history can remain alive without standing still, that innovation can flourish regardless of geographical limits, that craftsmanship can compete with the world, that culture can strengthen rather than divide, and that a city's greatest treasure is not measured by the amount of land it occupies, but by the legacy it leaves behind. Perhaps that is why so many travelers are surprised after visiting Mojokerto. They arrive expecting a small city. They leave having discovered a place that carries the weight of an empire, the memories of a founding father, the creativity of a modern innovator, and the warmth of a community proud of its identity. In an age where so many destinations compete to be louder, bigger, and more extravagant, Mojokerto reminds us of something profoundly important. True greatness does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits patiently. Sometimes it grows quietly. Sometimes it hides in places the world almost forgets to notice. But once you see it, you never forget it. So the next time your journey takes you across East Java, do not simply pass through Mojokerto on your way to somewhere else. Slow down, walk its streets, listen to its stories, taste its traditions, stand where history once unfolded, because within one of Indonesia's smallest cities lies one of its greatest reminders, that the size of a place never determines the size of its impact. And perhaps, after experiencing the spirit of Majapahit for yourself, you will discover that some of the world's most extraordinary destinations are not the ones that dominate the map. They are the ones that quietly transform the way you see history, culture, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Mojokerto is one of those places, and its story is far greater than its size. Educational institutions preserve buildings connected to Indonesia's founding story. Even the schools once attended by young Soekarno have been officially recognized as cultural heritage sites, ensuring that future generations can continue to learn from places where history quietly unfolded. Mojokerto demonstrates that cultural preservation is not about living in the past. It is about carrying forward the wisdom, creativity, and identity that define a people. In a world where many cities race toward modernization by replacing the old with the new, Mojokerto offers a different perspective. It proves that history can become a foundation for progress rather than an obstacle to it. Perhaps that is why visitors often leave with something unexpected. They arrive searching for historical landmarks, but they depart carrying a renewed sense of connection, not only to Mojokerto, but to the larger story of Indonesia itself. Because here, every brick seems to remember, every street whispers forgotten chapters, every corner invites you to pause, reflect, and recognize that the greater civilizations never truly disappear. They continue living through the people who choose to remember them. And after immersing yourself in centuries of history, there is one final experience that completes any journey through Mojokerto. It's food. Because if history tells you where a place came from, its cuisine tells you who its people truly are. Every destination has famous landmarks. Every city has beautiful buildings. But nothing connects you to local life more naturally than sitting down at a table and sharing a meal prepared with recipes that have been passed from one generation to the next. Mojokerto has quietly become one of East Java's most enjoyable culinary destinations. It is a city where food is not reserved for luxury restaurants or exclusive dining experiences. Instead, incredible flavors can be found almost everywhere, along busy roadside stalls where smoky aromas fill the evening air, inside lively traditional markets where family recipes continue to thrive, at modern food courts bustling with young people gathering after work or school, in stylish cafes that blend contemporary creativity with authentic Indonesian flavors, and even through many of Indonesia's well-known restaurant franchises that have chosen Mojokerto as part of their growing network. This remarkable variety means every visitor can discover something that suits their taste. Whether you are looking for comforting local specialities, refreshing drinks after a long day of sightseeing, or modern dining experiences with friends and family, Mojokerto offers an impressive range of choices within a surprisingly compact city. One moment, you might be enjoying a humble meal prepared by a family that has perfected the same recipe for decades. The next, you could be relaxing in a contemporary cafe surrounded by students, entrepreneurs, and travelers exchanging stories late into the evening. That diversity reflects the city itself. Traditional, yet forward-looking. Proud of its heritage, yet open to new ideas. Simple in appearance, yet rich in character. Food here becomes more than nourishment. It becomes a conversation, a connection between generations, a reminder that culture is not preserved only inside museums or historical monuments. It lives in kitchens. It survives in recipes whispered from parents to children. It flourishes every time local ingredients are transformed into meals that bring families together. And perhaps that is the perfect way to understand Mojokerto. Not through statistics alone, not through maps, not even through photographs, but through experiences, through conversations with local people, through the sounds of its neighborhoods, through the stories carried by its historical buildings, through the craftsmanship of its shoemakers, through the classrooms that once shaped a young Soekarno, through the enduring spirit of Majapahit that still inspires the city today, and finally, through the unforgettable flavors served with genuine East Javanese hospitality. Mojokerto may never be Indonesia's largest city. It may never have the tallest skyline or the busiest international airport. It does not compete for attention through sheer size. It does not rely on spectacle. Instead, it quietly earns admiration through substance. It proves that history can remain alive without standing still, that innovation can flourish regardless of geographical limits, that craftsmanship can compete with the world, that culture can strengthen rather than divide, and that a city's greatest treasure is not measured by the amount of land it occupies, but by the legacy it leaves behind. Perhaps that is why so many travelers are surprised after visiting Mojokerto. They arrive expecting a small city. They leave having discovered a place that carries the weight of an empire, the memories of a founding father, the creativity of a modern innovator, and the warmth of a community proud of its identity. In an age where so many destinations compete to be louder, bigger, and more extravagant, Mojokerto reminds us of something profoundly important. True greatness does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits patiently. Sometimes it grows quietly. Sometimes it hides in places the world almost forgets to notice. But once you see it, you never forget it. So the next time your journey takes you across East Java, do not simply pass through Mojokerto on your way to somewhere else. Slow down, walk its streets, listen to its stories, taste its traditions, stand where history once unfolded, because within one of Indonesia's smallest cities lies one of its greatest reminders, that the size of a place never determines the size of its impact. And perhaps, after experiencing the spirit of Majapahit for yourself, you will discover that some of the world's most extraordinary destinations are not the ones that dominate the map. They are the ones that quietly transform the way you see history, culture, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Mojokerto is one of those places, and its story is far greater than its size. As your journey through Mojokerto comes to an end, one question naturally remains. Why does this city matter? The answer is not found in a single monument, not in a government award, not in one historical building, and not even in the legacy of Majapahit alone. It is found in the extraordinary way all of these stories come together. Very few places can say they carry the legacy of one of the greatest empires in Southeast Asian history, while also helping shape the childhood of a future president. Very few cities can preserve centuries of cultural heritage while simultaneously earning recognition as one of the most innovative local governments in an entire nation. Very few communities can transform small family workshops into industries whose products travel far beyond their borders. And even fewer can accomplish all of this while being one of the smallest cities in Indonesia. That is what makes Mojokerto remarkable. Its story challenges one of the world's oldest assumptions, that bigger always means better. Mojokerto proves otherwise. It proves that leadership is not measured by population, influence is not measured by land area, and significance is not measured by how often a city appears on international travel lists. Real significance is measured by the lives a place touches, by the history it protects, by the opportunities it creates, by the inspiration it leaves behind for future generations. Every brick influenced by Majapahit reminds us that civilizations can outlive centuries. Every classroom connected to Soekarno reminds us that today's students may become tomorrow's history makers. Every pair of locally crafted shoes reminds us that dedication and craftsmanship can compete on the global stage. Every innovative public service reminds us that progress begins with people who dare to think differently. These are not isolated achievements. Together, they form the identity of a city that has quietly become one of Indonesia's most compelling hidden gems. Perhaps the greatest lesson Mojokerto offers is one that reaches far beyond geography. Every person has moments when they feel overlooked. Every community has times when it is underestimated. Every nation has places that rarely receive the recognition they deserve. But recognition is not what creates greatness. Greatness already exists. Sometimes it simply waits for someone willing to look a little closer. Mojokerto teaches us to do exactly that, to slow down, to appreciate what others overlook, to understand that history often survives not through grand spectacles, but through ordinary people who refuse to let their heritage disappear. In a rapidly changing world where cities compete to build taller towers and brighter skylines, Mojokerto offers a different vision of progress. A future where innovation respects tradition, where development strengthens identity instead of replacing it, where economic growth walks hand in hand with cultural preservation, where the past is not forgotten but transformed into a foundation for tomorrow. That vision is increasingly rare, and perhaps that is exactly why it deserves to be celebrated. So, if you ever find yourself exploring East Java, remember that some of the most meaningful journeys are not measured by distance. They are measured by discovery. Take the time to leave the main highway. Step into the streets of Mojokerto. Meet its people. Hear their stories. Support their local businesses. Walk through places where history still echoes. Experience a city that has spent generations proving that determination is stronger than limitation.